Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment question comes from SKXX. And this was in response to Korg Kronos 3 Game Changer or Just an Upgrade, and Sunday Morning Rant I did in January 2025. And SK writes, I think it's something they never wanted to stop producing. They made the Nautilus up and pulled the wool over our eyes for the users by saying it was the next generation flagship, etc. And again, another comment that many of you thought. And to be fair to Korg, at launch, it did not position the Nautilus as the next flagship, but promoted it to the status when they pulled the plug on Kronos. But probably because they did not have anything that could plug the gap in the market, especially as the competition was starting to impact on the Kronos' territory. Thinking of boards from Yamaha, Roland, and of course we always forget about Kurzweil because they have a very strong offering in this field, but nobody really talks about them. Next comment question comes from Looney Tunes, which is Ludi, and this was in response to, this is quite a long one, the Roland JX3P, my first synth Korg OASYS main bottleneck is the hard drive. A mailbag I did in July 2023. And Ludi writes, a few weeks ago I bought a perfect 2009 Korg OASYS 76 key I'd been looking for years on the Dutch market. I bought it on a Dutch marketplace called marketplaats.nl. I often read on synth forums that yet another one has been listed and sold within hours. Suddenly there were two of them listed for a longer time, both more common 76 key versions. Unfortunately they were local pickups only and both vendors refused to ship them because apparently they were far too rare and heavy to send by mail. Nonsense, well that's what they claimed anyway. I sent the Belgian owner of the cheapest one a message, what's the price? Do I have to pay extra if you send it to me anyway? Really didn't expect anything at all until suddenly after almost a week I got a positive response. If I was willing to pay for the petrol, the owner would gladly bring it to me all the way from Belgium to the northeast of the Netherlands, and I was flabbergasted. Good bloke. His account was almost 20 years old and more than 80 positive sales experience. That showed me he was rock solid. He clearly wasn't a guy who would suddenly start to rip people off. Reassured by this, I transferred the money to his bank account. 2 days later, a very nice, shiny something, 60-something Belgian gentleman, I don't know if it says shiny, nice 60-something Belgian gentleman, actually showed up at my doorstep, bringing me my OASYS. You know, I never expected to own a real OASYS myself one day, because only 3,000 were ever made, just like the stunning Yamaha CS80 back then. Like I am, the Belgian man is a collector who buys synths now and then to get inspiration to make music. In my case, to make musical covers, instrument covers. My Korg came with brand new extra touchscreen, complete with its vulnerable hinges, because somewhere there seems to be a pixel error. I still haven't found the small imperfection, but I do like having the spare parts. The final OS released is installed together with all the available engines. I got all the discs, CDs after swapping the original 40 gig hard drive, which you also brought along with a 65 gig SSD. He initially had problems reauthorizing the engines, but Korg support helped him solve that. During the rebooting, a screen now shows all the engines are authorized. A new battery was installed also, and the RAM has been expanded to 2 gigabytes. A new battery was installed. I also got 2 gigabytes extra spare, just in case one goes wrong. They even cleaned the keys, and that has a now pleasant smell, which is his wife's doing. Come to think of it, isn't yours an OASYS 88 key version? They are even more rare and expensive over here on the mainland, virtually unobtainable. So my question is, did I pay too much? The OASYS and all those free extras set me back €2,400, which is almost 600 less than the other more expensive one listed. Remember, a euro is not a pound. Based on the exchange rate of the point of writing, €2,400 was about £1,988. Anyway, all I had to do now is put it into my studio. It was plug and play, boots much faster than the Kronos 88. It does. That is very true. The OASYS does boot quicker than the Kronos. There was a time whereby cheap synths that I needed to be fixed first, but then I was fed up with finding spare parts and spending hours and hours tinkering before I even heard a single note. Nowadays, if possible, I'd gladly pay more to find a mint, almost factory new, restored old synthesizer. For instance, a few months ago, I bought a perfect Yamaha SY77. It was very dirty, but under all that dirt and grime was a beautiful keyboard. The vendor was right. After rigorous cleaning, I thought the layers of dirt had actually protected the keyboards in all these years. Cheers, Ludi. So, that's a story. But what that story tells me very clearly is that there are still people out there with integrity, as opposed to all the people that just stalk with the intention of liberating money from you. What I would say is, in terms of the cost, the purchase is roughly in line with other Korg OASYS I've seen for sale, but with all the work and spares that you've had acquired as well, could be seen as a pretty good deal. The 88 key version like mine is still selling closer to £2,500 generally at the moment. I don't see think that's going to go down. I think OASYS is a sought after platform. This is one instrument that appears to be appreciated at the moment as opposed to depreciated. On the SY77 and the Korg OASYS, the channel itself, this channel, has a number of videos covering work I've undertaken on both those platforms, the Korg OASYS and the Yamaha SY77. They may or may not be useful to anyone who's viewing this knowledge base.